Hey guys, it's me, Nina, and today I have my all-year wrap-up. For 2018, I have read 98 books. It's not the end of December quite yet. I have a few more days, and if I really wanted to, I probably could finish another book, but I just don't see it happening, so I'm just going to do this wrap-up anyway. So I've read 98 books, and I'm going to show you all of them and talk about them each individually for a little bit. Unfortunately, I couldn't get all of the books. I have about 55 of the 98 that I've read. Some of them I owned and I gave it away, so I can't show you them. And then other ones were from my library and I just couldn't find them, or they were checked out, or the library got rid of them. So I'm not able to show you some of them. But I do have a good portion of them, so I'll show you those ones and talk about them. First, stats. So in the year of 2018, I read 83 YA books. That does include graphic novels and actual novels. I read 5 juvenile reads, which all the juvenile reads I read were graphic novels. Graphic novels, that includes all of them, I read 31. Adult novels, I read 9. Non-fiction novels, I read 2. Ebooks, I read 2, and audiobooks, I read 1. I was going to do a stat on how many female and male authors I read, and how many words I read, and how many pages I read, but that was too much for me to count on my own, and since my Goodreads thing doesn't give me stats until the very end of the year, and I'm recording this, my cat's going crazy out there, I'm recording this before the end of the year, I don't have the stats for you, but oh well, let's just get into it. The very first book I read this year was The Last to Let Go by Amber Smith. I received this for free in a giveaway. I enjoyed it. I honestly can't tell you too much about it. I don't remember it that much. It wasn't memorable for me, but a lot of books aren't. Like, even if I really do enjoy them, I forget about them and what happened because I just read so much. So her mom is arrested for killing her dad. Her dad was abusive. It's a sad book, but she's like trying to come to terms with all that, and she has siblings and trying to find the relationship and mend everything together. It's a heartbreaking book, and it's a very serious book, but I did enjoy it. It wasn't like the best. I think I gave this like 3.5 stars. It was good. Started off the year okay. Next I have Tell Me 3 Things by Julie Boxbin. I got this from my library, as you can tell by the covering. This is a contemporary book. A lot of people enjoyed this book. I didn't really like it, but it's like this girl is like flirting with this boy, and they like tell each other 3 things about themselves, and they go back and forth. I don't know. It wasn't that great in my opinion. Like, it was okay, like 2.5, 3 stars, not anything fabulous. It wasn't bad. If you're really into lovey-dovey contemporary stuff, this might be for you, but I've kind of gotten out of that genre. I don't know why I keep trying to read it, but I do. Then I read A Million Junes, which that was a book that I did DNF, which means I did not finish it. I just wasn't into it, and I honestly can't really tell you what it was about. I forget, but I got that from my library, and I don't have it with me, so yes. The first graphic novel I read this year was Dare to Disappoint. This is actually a non-fiction graphic novel. It's about growing up in Turkey and this girl kind of like coming to terms. The art was pretty cool looking, like if you can see that. I didn't really like the story all too much. I didn't feel like there was a huge storyline. There wasn't a big plot. It's not like some big issue happened and then at the end it was resolved. Like, it was just like kind of like a life story, I guess, which if you're into that kind of stuff, it might be your thing, but I'm just not. Then I read a steamy book. So this is a mass market paperback book for romance, adult romance novels, and so it was kind of like a little bit of erotica. Honestly, in my opinion, it didn't give me enough. I thought it was a really boring book. It was short. It was called Putting It to the Test. I got rid of this. I owned it. I got rid of it. So I can't show you the physical copy. It wasn't very good. Like 2 stars. Going from a book that wasn't good to a book that I really loved, we have My Book of Life by Angel, and this is written by Martine Lovitz, I don't know. This deals with a young girl who ends up getting pimped out, and she doesn't know how to get out of this situation. Like, sex trafficking in that it's really become a horrible, prevalent thing in our society, including America. People think sex trafficking only happens in other countries, but that's not true. And it was a really heartbreaking book. It was a really fast read, and it was written in like these verses, so it's really easy to go through. It looks like it would be kind of a chunky book, but it was really fast read. I think I read this in like 2 days. If you really I could have read this in like an hour if I sat down and read it, but I had other stuff going on. But this was probably one of my favorite reads this year. And I will do a wrap-up of my like top 10 favorites of 2018. But this book, this was like a 4.5 stars for me. I loved it, and I highly suggest it. After that, I read a graphic novel called Personal Demons by Tom Brown. I really hated it. I have no idea what it was about. I don't have it with me. And then I also read The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. This was popular a few years ago. I also hated this story. It deals with this girl and like a love triangle, and it was really dumb, and I hated it. Then I read Starfish by, who is this by? Amika Dawn Bowman. So Starfish, oh my god, I think I have a book review on that. I'll link it down below if I do. But it was amazing. I'm not going to go over it since I do have a book review on it, but highly suggest it. Then I read The Name of the Star and The Madness Underneath by Maureen Johnson. They're part of a series. It deals with a girl who has a near-death experience, and now she can see ghosts. And it was supposed to be like this Jack the Ripper ghost kind of theme, and I had high expectations. I didn't enjoy it, but the covers were beautiful, I can say that. Moving on, we have Bang by Barry Laga. I forget what this is about, to be honest. It was not memorable. I'm pretty sure, like, he wants to commit suicide. No, like, his brother died, and he thinks it's his fault, and so he wants to commit suicide. But I just didn't like it. Like, it had a potential to be a really good book, but I just feel like it was a letdown. Then we have Eliza Ann Hall Monsters by Francesca Zappia. This was also a chunky book, and this was very hyped on BookTube. I didn't really enjoy it. It deals with this girl and her online comic series, and she kind of finds this boy, and she likes him, and blah, 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 blah. I wasn't too into it. That's all I can say. We have When Dimple Met Rishi by, if this will tell me, I don't know, the name's too small, my computer's not working. But When Dimple Met Rishi, I did not think I was going to like this book. It was a contemporary, kind of like a lovey-dovey YA novel. Oh, my computer's going absolutely crazy right now. But I really did enjoy it. So her parents kind of set her up with this boy, and they like kind of arranged marriage kind of deal. I'm sorry guys, I'm talking while I'm doing this. I don't want my camera to run out of time. But it was a really lovely book. I highly suggest it as well. Why won't this fit? There we go. Moving on, we have Our Kind of Cruelty by Araminta Hall. This book was crazy. I also received this for free through a giveaway. I loved this book. And so this guy is obsessed with this girl, but he's fucking crazy. He's nuts. And he kind of like stalks her, and like he believes that she's in love with him, but she keeps telling him, hey, I don't like you. And he just doesn't get it, and it ends in a murder. So it was pretty good. Then we have For Keeps by Natasha Friends. I do not have this book anymore. I gave it away. It was a crappy book. The cover made me think it was going to be a cute lovey-dovey book. I did not find it to be a cute lovey-dovey book at all. I thought the romance was shit. I felt like there wasn't much romance at all. It mostly deals with her, like, being mad at her mom, if I remember correctly. Didn't like it. Then I have Smothered by Autumn Chickless. I got this through a giveaway for free. This deals with a girl who feels that she is smothered by her mom, and, like, she wants to go off to college or something. It's supposed to be funny. I didn't quite find it funny. There was way too much, like, text message reading, and I felt like the writer was trying to act like she was a hip teen when she is in fact not a hip teen. I felt like a lot of the things they were saying, they'd be like, LOL, but, like, they would say it in real life. Like, no one says LOL when you're talking to someone. You only say that through text. It was ridiculous. I didn't like it. Then we have a graphic novel, Cast No Shadow by Nick Tapalaski and Anis Espinoza. I'm just going to go with whatever comes to mind when I say these names because I can't read. This was a black and white graphic novel, which I was like, oh, I'm not going to like that, but I did. It was an okay book. I thought it was cute. But yeah, I'm just moving on. I'm going through these really fast because there's a lot of books and I don't know how much time is on my camera, guys. Then we have The Accident Season by Maria Fally Doyle. I didn't like this book. That's all you have to know. Next, we have Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This was huge on BookTube this year, and I loved this book. I read this one and Thunderhead this year, and I really I love it. I highly suggest it, and it's crazy. Then we have another graphic novel, The Undertaking of Lily Chen by Danica Novgorod. I don't know. It's a thick graphic novel, and it wasn't very good. It deals with a guy whose, like, brother dies, and he has to find a wife for his brother so he's not alone in the afterlife. So he wants to kill this girl and marry him to his brother. I don't know. It was ridiculous. Then we have, and I'm not trying to be, like, culturally rude, but that is crazy. And then we have The Altered History of Willow Sparks by Tara O'Connor. I honestly don't remember this book at all. I feel like it was okay, but I don't remember what it was about, to be honest. Then we have We Should Hang Out Sometime by Josh Sundquist. Honestly, don't remember what it was about, so it must have not been that great. Then we have another one that I do not have with me. It's a graphic novel called Page by Page, and this girl is, like, an artist or something, and her name is Paige, so Page by Page or whatever. Her parents are writers, or I don't remember. I just didn't like it. Then we have Morning Glories, which is also a graphic novel, and I read like 7 of them. It was really good when it started out, and then it just kept getting ridiculous. Like, you have so many questions, and none of them get answered. They just keep adding questions on, which was dumb. Then we have The Line by Terry Hall. I'm pretty sure I DNF'd this. I might have finished it. I don't quite remember. It was boring. Like, the government puts, like, they have this shield, and there's people who live on the other side, and, like, you're not allowed to talk or see them, or you're not allowed to cross the line, but then this girl does because she's curious, and she, like, wants to find her dad or something. I don't know. Then we have The Monster on the Hill. This is a juvenile graphic novel, which I found it pretty cute, to be honest. The art was cute. The story was cute. Deals with this monster who doesn't feel like he's a monster anymore, and he just lacks his scariness, I guess. Then we have The Midnights by Sarah Nicole Setama. This, if you're really into music, this might be your book. I hated it. Then we have This One Time with Julia. This was stupid. Then we have Speak by Lori Halse Anderson and Emily Carroll. And Emily Carroll is such a great illustrator for graphic novels. And Lori Halse Anderson is such a great writer. Speak is one of my favorite stories ever. I love this graphic novel. Then we have Blank Confession, which looks really boring, but it was actually really good, and it's super short. Then we have Finding Somewhere, which I believe was about a horse. I can't remember. I didn't like it, though. If you're into horses, maybe it's your thing. Then we have Bad Taste in Boys by Carrie Harris. This looks like it's dumb, but it was actually really good, and it's pretty short as well. Then we have Grace by Elizabeth Scott. Stupidest book in the world. Then we have Winter Girls by Lori Hulse Anderson again. Pretty good book. I'm not going over any of these anymore because there's too many. Then we have A Wrinkle in Time graphic novel version. I thought this was stupid. I don't get the hype. I don't like this classic. Then we have Love, Hate, and Other Filters by Samira Ahmed, Ahmed, I don't know. This was dumb. Then we have Bad Girls Don't Die. This was scary and it was good. And girl, yes, give me some more. Then we have Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Not worth the hype, but still a pretty good book. Then we have Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo. And this was good. This is what I want, Leigh Bardugo. That's what I want. Then we have a graphic novel called Plain Janes. That was stupid. Then we have Stolen by Lucy Christopher. And I thought this was going to be an amazing book about Stockholm Syndrome. It wasn't. Then we have Don't You Cry by Mary Kwabenka. This was crazy, but still not that great. The cover is beautiful, though. Then we have In Real Life graphic novel by Cory Doctorow and Jen Wong. The illustrations were beautiful, but I didn't quite like the story. Then we have The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. I didn't like this. I didn't like it at all. Then we have The Siege and the Storm and Ruin and Rising. Same thing by Leigh Bardugo. Then we have The Big Little Lies. This is the one audiobook I read. It was okay. Didn't really like this adult book. Sorry. The Wendy Project. This is a Peter Pan retelling, and it was amazing. And let me tell you, it's like in a journal format. Like this looks like a journal, and the art was beautiful. Loved it. Loved it, loved it. Then we have Bloody Chester, which was a dumb graphic novel. Then we have The Other Side, The City on the Other Side by a bunch of people. And it was awesome graphic. It was an okay novel. Then we have Feed, which I DNF'd. This is by M.T. Anderson. I DNF'd this. I was like 40 pages in. Dumb. Didn't like it. Then we have Crank by Ellen Hopkins, which deals with a girl who is making some badass decisions. We also have Glass by her that I read this year. And I did really like this series. I still haven't finished it, though. Then we have Just So Happens, which is a graphic novel. Didn't really enjoy it. Didn't feel like there's a point to the story. Then we have Mind Games by Kirsten White. Really loved this. I believe it's a series, but my library only has this one. Really enjoyed it. Pretty short book. Then we have Seconds Away by Harlan Coben. Pretty okay book. Also a series. Then I read Miss Peregrine's book, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the graphic novel. It was great. And then I read Ink by Amanda Sun. That was DNF'd. It was dumb. Then I have A Man Called Ove. Where'd it go? Who knows? Yes, here it is. A Man Called Ove. This was a beautiful book by Frederick Backman. Then we have, oh my god, this is so long, guys. Princess Decomposa and Count Spatula. It was a black graphic novel. It was okay. Kind of dumb. I don't know. The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. Beautiful story. Oh my god, this was so good. Then we have The 10 Worst Serial Killers. This was a nonfiction book. Really awesome. Then we have Drama. It was a graphic novel. Then we have The Gallery of Unfinished Girls, which was dumb. I don't even remember what this was about. Oh, art. Like, there was this crazy art studio, and it's like magical. I don't know. It was dumb. I didn't like it. Then we have Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. Did not enjoy this. I don't really like lovey-dovey contemporary, so I thought this was dumb. Then we have Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. I read it because the author has the same name as me. It was okay. It was better than I thought it was going to be honest. Then we have Blindsided, which deals with a girl who's losing her sight and she's like in denial. This is by Priscilla Cummings. Very short, very good. Then we have Art Boss, which I got for free through a giveaway. I did not enjoy it. Then we have The Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls. Loved this book. Loved this cover. Crazy. Then we have Lady Renegades. This is the third book in the Rebel Belle series. Haven't heard much about this since like the second book came out. No one really liked it. I thought it was okay. Then we have White Lines, which deals with a girl doing drugs, and it's dumb, and I didn't like it, and there wasn't enough drugs. Then I have Please Don't Tell by Lori Timms. It deals with a girl who is pissed that this dude like raped her sister, and she like thinks she murdered this dude, but she's not sure if she murdered him. Then we have The Lumberjanes. I read like 5 of their graphic novels. It was okay. Then I have Find Me by Romina Bernard. Cool cover though. Then we have Meddling Kids, which is like a Scooby-Doo adult novel. This was pretty cool, but this cover though. Next we have No One Else Can Have You. Deals with the creepy ass murder at the very beginning, but then it kind of like got bad. Like the first 2 pages were the best thing about the book. Then we have All the Truth That's in Me. This girl's tongue is cut out and like it's crazy. It is a historical fiction, so I don't read too much of that, but it was okay. Then we have The Killing Lessons by Saul Black. This was amazing. Then we have Last Seen Leaving by Caleb Rig. I think this boy's girlfriend disappears or something, and he tries to go on his own little investigative thing instead of letting the police handle it. Did I skip like a shit ton? Where'd this go? Then I read the first 2 books in the Throne of Glass series. They were okay. I DNF'd The Pen Hell Wood. It's like a detective novel. And then I read How I Made You Up by Francesca Zappia. Didn't really enjoy that as well. Did I skip this entire thing? Okay, Friends with Boys graphic novel, okay, not really great. Jesse Elliott is a Big Chicken. Beautiful art, funny story. Ollie Carter's Not If I Save You First, kind of dumb. And then the last one is The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. I really enjoyed this book. And that is all I have for you today. If you want more in-depth explanations, check out my Goodreads review or look at my wrap-ups from this year. I will be doing a top 10 favorites and top worst books of 2018, so keep an eye out for that, and have a wonderful day. Bye!